Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down Nascar Xfinity Series race the second race of the weekend on Sunday at Dover Motor Speedway. This is a Sunday race. The top 15 were inverted, and then we had the weird formula that NASCAR does to figure out the rest of the starting lineup. I don't know, it's confusing. But this is gonna be honestly hate these races. Whenever they do these double races and they just invert the field, I absolutely hate it. I'm not gonna play heavy on this because it's just so chalky. Like it's all these guys that are right there that you see 14, 15, 12, 13, 11, 16. All of them gonna be popular. Super chalky. It's ridiculous. You have a few guys like HEMRIC starting 27th. Everyone's gonna want to play him. It's just I hate these days. I usually will probably do one single entry honestly, and that's about it. But we'll still get into the driver by driver breakdown. We have the Cup one too as well that I'll be recording right after this. So we'll get into all of those things today. But before I do, make sure to leave a like on the channel, subscribe to the video, or leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, leave a comment. All those things really help me out, help me grow. I've had a lot of growth throughout NASCAR this season and now NBA as well. NFL's coming real soon. NFL's like in 3 weeks. It's awesome, bro. I'm so excited. Looks like some college football teams are going to play, so I'll be making content for that as well. And the NFL, and then college basketball, whenever that starts, I'll be making content for that too. So be sure to stick around for all of that stuff. All that stuff goes. I mean, NFL, wow, that's really coming up fast. I'm really excited. Got some things I got to finish up for that, but other than that, be sure to stick around. If you want to get more of my content, you can subscribe to my Patreon for NASCAR for only $10 a month. You're gonna get all 3 series: Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series. You're gonna get a cheat sheet with everything, with all stats you need to know. You're gonna get projections, salary tier rankings every single day, daily articles, and a cash core. So be sure to check out all of those, all 3 series combined for only $10 a month. So, and then I also do the same thing for NBA. So be sure to check out all of that stuff as we get into more, as NASCAR finishes up. We're a few months away from the end of the season. Playoffs are about to start next week, so last week before the playoffs for the Cup Series. That race is going to be a disaster. So be sure to check out all of my content coming up. If you want to follow me on social media, my Instagram is @Natelane_. My Twitter is @DFSNatelane. All right. Let's get into this video. This one's going to be a short video because I'm literally going to say, oh, he's a good play, he's a good play, he's also a good play, he's also a good play. So Chase Briscoe is a good play. But he is probably the one that gets the least amount of ownership out of all the rest of the guys at 11,600. Because yesterday he was running in the top 4 and he wrecked. So he finished, I guess, he didn't finish that bad. I guess he finished like 10th place where he's starting 6th. He ended up rallying, but now he starts 6th today, and he doesn't have the place differential that all the other guys have, but he's still going to be able to finish up front. And if Chase Briscoe gets out front and leads laps, like he had a fast car yesterday, it wasn't like his car sucked. He could end up being the guy you need. Now, be on the lookout. He might have to start in the back, might get sent to the rear. I'd be on the lookout. Follow at Bob Pockris on Twitter. Or even me, I'll just probably retweet it, but he'll get the information out. So yeah, Chase Briscoe has to go to back, then I don't like him at all anymore, to be honest, but if he doesn't, I think Chase Briscoe is a solid option. He can lead a bunch of laps. He had a fast car yesterday. He's been one of the best drivers all year. But Austin Syndra, he came in, second yesterday? His car was ridiculously fast. He led a bunch of laps. He's been, insane this year, so now he's won 5 of the last 7 races. Yeah, led laps in all of them. So yeah, I like Austin Syndra a good bit. He's just been great. He starts 14th. He's a great play. Justin Allgaier, same thing. And Justin Allgaier finally got his win yesterday. I was happy for him. It's been a rough year. He's had fast cars pretty much every week. Should have won at Bristol earlier this year, but Bristol and Dover, Allgaier's insane at. Best average finish at Dover, second best average finish at short tracks, third at steep tracks. He has best average position at all of them. Led a ton of laps yesterday. I expect him to do the same thing today. Starts 15th. I mean, he just had the fastest car. Usually, for the most part, on these double headers, the second day, the fastest car from the day before is at least one of the fastest cars. So Allgaier is a great play again. Noah Gragson, same thing. Great finish yesterday. Led some laps yesterday. 10,500. Great play. People will probably play Cindric and Allgaier more, so Gragson could give you a little bit of an ownership dip, but he's going to be great again. Ross Chastain, same thing. Had a great finish. Finished 3rd yesterday. He's 10,100. Starts 13th. He could lead laps. He's fast. Harrison Burton, probably not as good of a play as the rest of them at 9,800. Starts 11th. Could get up front, but I really doubt he leads laps instead of the other 4. He hasn't been a lap leader all year. He's just kind of been a guy that rides around up front. He's a really consistent driver. I'm sure that takes a turn next year. So that was like Chase Briscoe last year. Wouldn't lead a ton of laps, and then he just started taking off. I think Harrison Burton probably does the same thing in the next 2 years where he just starts getting a lot better, more confident, leads more laps. I mean, he's really young, but right now he's just not going to. I expect him to finish probably in the top 5 again. Top 5 to top 8 finish for Harrison Burton probably. But just in this whatever case he does get up front and lead laps, nobody's gonna really play him today. Everyone's playing the 4 I just named above him. So I think Harrison Burton is a solid option. Brandon Jones was having a really good run yesterday before he saved his car in NASCAR through a caution. I don't know. That was stupid in my opinion. But he starts 16th today. He has good place differential upside. Should have a top 10 finish. He does have 6th best average finish at Dover. He's been pretty solid. Ran well yesterday. But again, like, not going to lead laps. Like, this is a track. There's like 200 laps. Or you're going to need lap leaders. You're not just going to need place differential. So if you're paying at this price around this salary tier, you're going to want the laps led. So you're going to want to just go to like Allgaier or Gragson or Chastain or even Burton, Syndra. I didn't even name Syndra. Those are the guys you're going to want to go to, not necessarily Brandon Jones. Because he doesn't really lead a ton of laps. I don't expect him to. This isn't really the type of track he does lead laps at. He leads more laps at the like 1.5. So Brandon Jones, not someone I'm really too excited to get to. Same with Justin Haley, starts 8th. He hasn't really been a lap leader like that all year. I don't expect anything to change here. Daniel HEMRIC's interesting though at 9,100. Like I say, don't chase the place differential, but like Daniel HEMRIC starts 27th and he could legitimately finish like top 3. Third, he didn't race yesterday, so I'll go over the stats from this one. He had the 3rd best average finish at Dover, the best average finish at short tracks, and the best average finish at steep tracks. He's the 3rd best average position at Dover, 3rd best at short tracks, 2nd best at steep tracks. When we go to laps led, he has 23 laps led at Dover, 140 at short tracks, and 85 at steep tracks. And in the last 5 races, an average finish of 4.5, an average position of 7.33. I don't really expect him to be a lap leader, but Daniel HEMRIC can make a run up into the top 5, and I don't think anyone would be shocked. And starting 27th might be a solid place differential option at 9,100, especially like when you look, there's really not too many great PD options today in my opinion. And HEMRIC does provide you with some of that. And usually like when we're going for the place differential guys that are usually be priced around here. Like yesterday we had Brett Moffatt, we had Jeb Burton and Alfredo, and they all ran well. They all finished well. Like Alfredo had a top 10 run, or I think he finished 11th actually, but they're not necessarily guys who you really expect to ever finish like top 2 or 3. Daniel HEMRIC can do that, so I think that makes him a little bit more of an exception, like to yesterday where I wasn't maybe as excited to play those guys. But I think HEMRIC does grade out really well for me right now, and I think he's a solid option. Riley Herbst starts 10th. He'll probably hang around there all day. He's too expensive. He was like 7,000. I would love Riley Herbst today, but 8,900, I don't want to pay for that. Alex Labate starts 18th. Like, he's just, again, going to run around there. I don't know why he's always so expensive. He's not someone that is ever just someone that like flies off the page for me. Someone who's should be super expensive. Brett Moffatt 8,500 starts on the pole. He'll probably lead the first bit of laps, maybe still a competition caution, but I don't expect him to be out front the whole race. Like, I just don't think that happens. If Brett Moffatt, though, I think he is an option. If you're playing a bunch of tournament laps, I think he is an option. Like, let's say Brett Moffatt leads the first 25 laps, then he leads like 10 more. Let's say he does. Say he leads 35 laps today and finishes inside the top 10. He's going to be a great play. But I don't want to bank on that personally because I think Brett Moffatt, you see he starts on the pole, which means he finished 15th yesterday. That's more where I expect him to finish, and then I don't really think it's a great play at that point. Myatt Snyder starts 17th. If he was in the 21, it'd be a different story, but he's in the 93, and I still don't want to go to that. It's just not enough place differential for me, or not enough place differential upside in that 93 car. He could probably finish top 15, but a top 10, top 5, probably out of the options here. Anthony Alfredo, $8,100, starts 5th. Alfredo, I love Anthony Alfredo. He's a really good driver. It just starts too high. I guess he can hang around the top 5, but when you have the other guys that can finish inside top 5 to also bring the place differential upside and the lap upside, I'd just rather play them. I just don't think Anthony Alfredo I really don't think he hangs around the top 5 all day. I think he finishes probably at best 8th, and I just don't think that's great for that price. Jeremy Clements, same thing, starts too high. Michael Annett may not be too bad. He can hang around, maybe get a top 10. He's in fast equipment for Junior Motorsports, so I think Michael Annett looks pretty solid, but I don't think he's someone I really want to attack all too much. If I'm playing 20, or if I'm doing a 20 max, 150 max, something like that, yeah, I'd probably get some exposure. I'd get exposure to Annett and Alfredo personally at that point, but if I'm playing 1 or 2 lineups, probably not going there. Ryan Sieg starts 4th, not someone I'm really interested in, hasn't ran well all year. Probably will continue to be the same thing there. If he finishes where he did yesterday, which was 11th or 12th, something like that, he'll probably not really pay off at all. Josh Williams starts 22nd. I don't think this one's terrible. He has 10th best average finish at Dover, and if we go look in the last 5 races, he has an average finish of 17.2, which isn't terrible, and For 7,400, I mean, it is paying up a little bit for Josh Williams, but I don't hate it. On a slate where there's not really a whole ton of place differential upside, I don't mind going to it. Same thing as Stephen Parsons with the average finish of 19 in the last 5. He didn't really have a great run yesterday, but I think that could change a little bit. He does seem a little bit too expensive, but I don't hate going to him. Then we have Colby Howard at 7,200 starting 31st. Probably my favorite of the 3 of these guys, just because he had a bad run yesterday, but he's not in terrible equipment for JD Motorsports, but he could get a top 20 for you. I mean, we've seen that upside, but more than likely he gets you a top 25, and that won't kill you. And I think the upside to get a top 20 is worth going to Colby Howard. Brandon Brown just starts too high. He could get the early lead from Moffatt, but I doubt it. We've seen that first place starting position be such an advantage in the first 2 Dover races. That car just gets out to such a massive jump that I think that's the way to go. So I don't think Brandon Brown really is worth anything at this point. He was a great play yesterday, but today I don't think he really does anything for you. Timmy Hill starts 36th, and Timmy Hill, wow, I know I suggested him in the video, but I just decided to go more heavily on the other guys that were priced around him. So it was Parsons, and I already forgot who the other one was that was priced there. Oh, and Colby Howard. And I guess Parsons paid off. Howard really didn't. But Timmy Hill not having him saved me. I mean, he had mechanical issues like 10 laps in. And that's always a scary part of how playing Timmy Hill. So it's scary going back to him today just because you know that can happen. But maybe people won't play him as much today because that happened yesterday. But he's going to be in a new car, or they fixed the mechanical issues in that car. So one or the other. But he's going to start at the back, which he already does, so it doesn't really matter. But Timmy Hill at 6,900 in the last 5 races, not including Dover, he has an average finish of 16.8. So I don't hate going there at all, actually. Vinny Moore starts 29th. I mean, he's fine. He could get you up in the top 25. I'd rather just pay for Timmy Hill. Joe Graf Jr. starts way too high. Kyle Weatherman starting 26th at 6,400. I don't hate going there. In the last 5 races, Weatherman has an average finish of 13, which is really good, and an average position of 16.25. But I just wouldn't bank on that happening. But if you want to go to Kyle Weatherman, I don't hate it. He probably won't be too highly owned today. Just not someone I don't ever fully fade Kyle Weatherman. He always does have that upside to get top 15. He does have 1 top 10 on the year. So I think he's a solid option here. Bailey Curry never plays in terrible equipment. Tommy Joe Martins starts too high for me. I mean, that's probably where he finishes in that spot. When he starts like in the dead 30s, that's when you want to get some Tommy Joe Martins. But when he's 24th, I don't really want to get there. Same thing with David Starr starting 25th. I just don't want to get to it. He's going to ride around there all day. Like yesterday, David Starr was started 29th, and he finished 27th, and he was in the winning lineup. That's crazy to me, but that's what happened yesterday. So David Starr at starting 25th, that's probably where he's going to finish. Matt Mills, 5,900. I mean, starts 35th. He does have an average finish of 19.75 in the last 5 races. It's just Matt Mills' equipment sucks. Like, it's just not fast. He just hasn't been fast all year. It's just not someone I really feel comfortable going to. But if you need some value today, and I think he does offer some value, although I think there's 2 guys who we're going to talk about in a minute that I'd rather get to. I don't think he's terrible. Cody Vanderwall starts 34th. He wrecks every race. Corbin Forrester starts 30th. He's not good. He's a truck driver. Doesn't really know what he's doing in the series. Jeffrey Earnhardt, 5,400, starts 19th. He's just going to ride around there all day. That's where he's going to finish. I just don't want to get there. Fincham starts 32nd. Fincham may not be terrible, but his car's really not that fast. Starts 32nd. I mean, we see his driver averages aren't good. Last 5 races, he does have an average finish of 20th, but I don't know how much I really want to get there. I just don't think the upside. I don't think it's more than likely that he doesn't get there, get to that 20th spot. He gets like maybe a top 25, maybe. And that's going to pay off that salary, but I think we're going to skip over Stephen Light. You get to McLeod and Jesse Little, and I think these guys are the way to go. They're going to be popular today, but I don't really care. McLeod has the 14th best average finish at Dover, and he has 19th best average position. But in the last 5 races, BJ McLeod has an average finish of 22nd, and Jesse Little has an average finish of 15.25. And I don't even they both offer you some place differential. If McLeod starting 28th and Little starting 20th, they can both get in. They both can get inside the top 20. But more than likely, only one of them probably will. But even if they don't, if they just hang around 20th spot, that's going to pay off that salary. McLeod just gets to a few spots, which he should be able to, and Little hangs around 20th finishing position. It's going to pay off that salary really, really nice. So I think they're both pretty solid options that I get to. And if you can fit both those guys in and then get 2 guys up here. And I mean, I'm sure a ton of people are going to do that, but that's probably what's going to be in the optimal today. That's why I hate these days. The tie for first, it's so you can't be different on these days because the chalk hits, and the tie for first place in the tournament is going to be all the same lineups. So, but yeah, I think that's really all I got to say on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I hope you guys enjoy watching this race today. There's a lot of races today. We got this race, the Cup race, and the Indy 500 today, which I wish they did Draftkings for. I would totally do that as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching all this video. Hope you guys make some money this weekend. Good luck to you today, and make sure to check out my Cup Series video that's up as well. Make sure to go give that a look if you want to make some money in the Cup Series race today.